My name is Cindy Farron, and I'm with Paws In Need. We're a nonprofit organization that serves the Tri-Valley area. We provide medical assistance or financial aid for community animals. Instead of being a rescue group like other animal groups in the area, that's how we differentiate ourselves. And plus, we're an all-volunteer organization. We have no paid staff. So all the fundraisers that we do and the donations we receive from the public and our grants go directly to help animals, which is a little different than other animal groups.
A lot of times we'll have clients come in and their pets run into an accident or had something happen where, they need a life-saving procedure or surgery, and sometimes the owner can't financially afford that. And just like new, Paws In Need is really helpful because it essentially allows us to bridge the gap and provide that life-saving medical care for them, and then they still get to go home with their pet, which is really the best case scenario.
So we have 3 programs. The Just Like New program, so the idea is to make the animal just like new again. If a dog gets hit by a car and the owners can't afford the surgery, we will provide medical assistance. We have veterinarians that work with us that provide us discounts, and so we don't want animals to needlessly suffer, and we want to make sure that they're not euthanized just because an owner can't afford the surgery. The second program is our spay-neuter program. So we have volunteers that will work with the public, whether it's trap an animal, whether it's just transporting an animal to one of our contracted vets that provides neuter spay surgeries. The idea is to get as many as possible neutered and spayed so that we don't have the overpopulation problem that we do today. Livermore is especially bad because of the ruralness of the area. The third program is our community fund, and if an animal comes in and needs something like cleaning an abscess or something like that while we're doing the neuter spay, that fund provides help for those animals. The idea is that we want to take care of the animals while they're under anesthesia, and so they can be back out in the community.
This is our great dog, Sarah, and we're very grateful to Just Like New, Paws In Need. You're phenomenal and exciting. And Sarah had surgery. He had osteochondritis disease. And basically he was growing too fast. His body couldn't keep up with how he was growing. So he was about 7 months old, and I almost gave him away because I was devastated. And the kids remember we were playing Chuck It. Dogs love to play Chuck It. And then he started screaming. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, so we were at the field and he was running to get the ball, and he put his foot the wrong way or something, and he started to yelp really bad, and we got super scared, and we were really, really nervous.
And we took him to the hospital, and it was just really, really nerve-wracking because we didn't know what exactly happened to him. So that's where the vet kind of was talking us through, and that's where Paws In Need helped us with supporting Sarah and helping us financially and everything, and to help him. And so
yeah, we were really grateful and so blessed because we knew that he was in good hands. They were quite generous, they were wonderful, very accommodating, and just to know that organization cares. Oh, I'm sorry. Cares. Watch ya. I'm sorry, boo boo. Mommy, sorry. That organization cares about a dog, animals that can thrive and can be healthy. We knew that we were in good hands, and this was our first family dog, so it's really, it was a big deal. Our first family dog, and we were by ourselves, and like I said, we were struggling,
and we didn't know what to do.
We didn't know what to do. I wrote a note to the kids saying he's going to have to go because
we were really devastated.
We were.
The Just Like New Fund helps sick and injured animals. For example, if you can't afford your vet bill, typically you're faced with 3 decisions. You either have to leave your pet suffering, some people will surrender their pet, and worst case, people have to euthanize their pet over not having enough money to care for them. And so what the Just Like New Fund does is prevent economic euthanasia and suffering and help families to keep their pets in their home. For example, Lola was out playing at the park and she suddenly yelped and started limping, and her family rushed her to the vet. They got an x-ray and an exam and found out it was going to cost $6,500 to get her leg fixed. And they didn't have that kind of money. They were able to come up with $5,000, but they still were, at this point, the doctor was saying you're going to have to euthanize her because you can't leave her suffering. And they reached out and they found Paws in Need, and we were able to bridge the gap and get the leg repaired. And now Lola's just like new again, playing with her family in the park.
Hi, I'm Fernette Armstrong, and I am a volunteer in the Spay-Neuter program for Paws in Need. My first case was with this wonderful cat angel named Cheryl, who came to us through a friend.
Through a friend, Pat Adamchak referred me to Barbara Finn, and I called Barbara, and she came out to my house to give us a workshop in trapping 4 cats who had appeared in my yard.
So people wonder why we do spay and neuter, and the reason is that these community cats who are living on their own without much help from humans will reproduce until it literally kills them. The males fight for territory, they can get terrible wounds, they lose their territory, they have to go to another territory, they can get hit by cars. The females get drained of nutrients from constantly nurturing kittens. So because they won't do it themselves, we have to do it for them, and that involves trapping them, taking them to a local vet, and then returning them to where they are. So that's where our cat angels come in. Cheryl, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you did?
Well, I had started feeding these cats, and I love cats, but because of my allergies, couldn't have cats in my house. And so I started feeding them, and then became concerned that pretty soon I would have 100 cats to feed. Barbara Finn came over with the trap and Frenette and gave us a workshop to trap the 4 cats in my yard one by one. And because I had 2 fractures at the time, couldn't lift the cages, Frenette was incredible about coming over to help me to get the cage into the car and or take it to the vet. And because of Paws in Needs, they paid for the vet to have the animals spayed or neutered.
So all we would have to do is pick up the cats when they were ready. We kept them overnight so they could recover, and then we would return them and get another cat and do the same thing over again. Now, Cheryl's cats were very easy. Sometimes it takes many weeks, or I've been working on a family of 4 cats for 4 months because they're very wary of traps. But we do everything we can, and then we try to recruit local people like Cheryl to continue to feed them. And Cheryl's kind of taken them on in a big way. Why don't you talk a little bit about you and your neighbor?
Well, these cats are my family, and my neighbor and I have shared custody of these cats. And my neighbors are a wonderful family. They have 2 sons, and he built a house for the 4 cats, and they even put in an electric blanket. And we have a schedule for feeding them. They feed them at night, and I feed them in the morning, so it's just worked out great. We spot each other for vacations too, so.
These community cats do so much for us. They keep the rat and the mouse population down, they keep the lizard and the insect population down, and they benefit so much from what Paws in Needs does to help them.
They've been really helpful in terms of, we've had, for example, a cat that came in, and it was an indoor-outdoor cat. The owner had no idea what happened, but the eye was very, very infected, and that cat needed to have that eye removed because it was causing an infection through the rest of the body. Paws in Need allowed us to take that cat to surgery, do an enucleation procedure, which is removing that infected eye, and that cat is happy and alive today.
Really great dog to be around, like a family dog, something
Definitely.
that you can not rely on, but something that you can just take care of and be able to even have and be with you at all times, really.
Exactly.
Thank you for helping.